Well, Sabbath greetings to everyone. I hope you've had a great week. We have had a wonderful week here in Sussex. It's been, I think, it's been actually beautiful weather. It's really, it's very, very mild for this time of year, and so I'm not complaining about that. We've been enjoying it. I think the kids would like to see some snow, but here in our area we haven't seen any of that yet, and here we are at the very end of November, looking December right in the face, and so we know what time of year that is, as well as you just can't escape it with all the Christmas nonsense and all that goes along with that. And so we certainly will look forward to a time when that's no longer anything we have to put up with and battle through all the nonsense that goes on in all the pagan holidays of this world. But we were able to enjoy a very wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, which thankfully we still have a day of that's set aside for National Thanksgiving. We had a wonderful time, and I just wanted to say hi to all my family that may be watching this video. We had a great time in Kansas City, spent some time there, stayed at my sister's home and brother-in-law for that trip, and got to see many of the family there, and it was just very, very enjoyable, and we had just an awesome time there. And I appreciate all the hospitality and the wonderful time we had there. And then we moved on to Kirksville and spent some time with my wife's folks there in Kirksville, and that was very, very enjoyable as well. Last Sabbath we had the opportunity to spend time with the Columbia, Missouri brethren, and I gave the message there, and we always look forward to being in Columbia. We spent a year there, my wife and I, there in the area, in the Columbia, Missouri area, and also traveled there for services for a number of years with as a family. And so we know many of the brethren there and spent a lot of time with them and enjoyed them for many, many years, and it's always nice to be back there and have the opportunity to visit with them again. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope it was a time that you were able to spend with family, and to have the opportunity to really reflect and to give thanks for all the many, many blessings that we have. We may not have very much physically, but that's not what this is about. I think we all know that. It's not about amassing great wealth. It's not about trying to have a bunch of stuff in this life. If God has blessed you and you're able to have more than you need, then that's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that. But certainly we know that the greatest blessing we've been given is an opportunity to be ambassadors for Jesus Christ, the opportunity to be begotten children of God, and the opportunity to very soon to rule with Jesus Christ in the coming kingdom of God. And so we have so much to be thankful for spiritually, and certainly we want to give thanks for that. And hopefully you had the opportunity to do that and spend time with family and enjoy that opportunity. I don't have a whole lot to say in this video. I've got some other things that I'm trying to get accomplished this evening, but looking forward very much to being in Chicago for services this Sabbath and seeing the brethren there. It's always a pleasure seeing them, and the rest of you, I hope you have a wonderful Sabbath wherever you are, and we look forward to seeing you as we make our way around to the rest of you in the area in the coming weeks and months, and certainly look forward to another opportunity for game night. Of course, we always look forward to those throughout the winter, and that's coming up in December again. We'll make some announcements in the area. I apologize to those who didn't get the announcement for our last November game night. I tried to get those announcements out there, and I think I was derelict last time, and I know some of you didn't get the announcement in time to make plans to be here, so we'll try to do better in that regard, and we want as many people as possible to be here and enjoy that wonderful extra time for fellowship. Well, Hebrews 4 mentions this, the heading is the promise of rest. And when we get down to verse 9, it says, "There remains therefore a rest for the people of God. For he who has entered his rest has himself also ceased from his works as God did from his. In verse 11, let us therefore be diligent to enter that rest, lest anyone fall according to the same example of disobedience. There was a problem in ancient Israel with the Sabbath keeping, and they broke the Sabbath time and again, and that is not something that pleases God at all. And we've been given the opportunity, as it says here in verse 9, as the people of God. That verse is such a powerful verse for Sabbath keeping and for proof that God does expect us to keep none other than the seventh-day Sabbath, as he mentions if you read chapters 3 and 4 very carefully here. We know that God never changed the Sabbath day. It's the seventh day, and that's Saturday on our calendar, of course. The seventh-day Sabbath is a sign between God and his people. As it says here again in verse 9, there remains therefore a rest, a different word than is used earlier in the chapter, and at other places that word is katapazen. And that's to cease from labor, to cease from physical rest. That's what that word katapazen is. But in verse 9, it's a totally different word. It's sabbatismos. And it literally means there remains, therefore, a Sabbath rest, or a keeping of the Sabbath. For who? For the people of God. Again, a sign between God and his true people are those who are keeping the seventh-day Sabbath. And verse 11, let us therefore be diligent to enter that rest. Every Sabbath we get the opportunity to rest. Rest our minds and rest our thoughts and from just the normal everyday thoughts that we have at work and all the challenges that we face maybe throughout the week. We have the opportunity to rest, and I hope we are being diligent to enter that rest, to take full advantage of this Sabbath, to really reflect on the blessing of our calling, the blessing of the truth about the true Sabbath. And much of the world is totally oblivious to the fact that God does expect us to keep the Sabbath. It's the fourth commandment. It's extremely important. And we need to be diligent to enter that rest, to really keep the Sabbath day holy, to keep it holy, and to do what is pleasing to God on that day, and that is to rest our minds from the normal things and to let those things go and really focus on God and focus on spending time with those of like mind and spending special time with our families and teaching our children and being at services and enjoying that opportunity for fellowship and speaking to those of like mind. So I hope you'll give some thought to that. I hope you're being diligent to enter that rest. And, of course, that points to the ultimate rest, which is coming at the return of Jesus Christ, when this whole world will rest. This whole world is going to have the opportunity to rest in the sense that they won't be, they're not going to be living by the dictates of their own heart. They're going to have true leadership, the leadership of Jesus Christ and, of course, the resurrected saints, those that are spirit beings, put in positions of rulership at that time. And they're going to have the right kind of leadership and the right kind of opportunity to enjoy life and to learn what life is all about and learn the right way to go and the right path that leads to peace and harmony and prosperity and all that the wonderful truth that we've been given of what the future holds for the whole world. And so right now we have the opportunity to enter that rest every week as a reflection, as a pointing to, as a symbol, as a forerunner to the coming kingdom of God. And so I hope you have a restful Sabbath. I hope you have a wonderful and profitable Sabbath. And pray for one another, and just enjoy this Sabbath and make the most of it. And I hope wherever you're at, you have a wonderful, peaceful, profitable Sabbath. And keep your eyes on the news, keep track of what's happening, the UN, what they're doing, and acknowledging the Palestinians, no longer just as an entity, and also not as a member state, obviously, but giving them, more and more of a slap in the face to Israel, and all that's taking place on the world scene over in that very critical area. And we know that's going to be a focal point at the end times. Jerusalem shall become a heavy stone. We know that what's going to be happening over there, and we've got a great news and prophecy article on what's happening in Egypt with mercy, and I guess they did rush through an approved constitution at this point to try and eliminate the protesting and everything that's been going on over there in Egypt. So certainly, we're going to have to watch what's happening over there and keep our eyes on that powder keg in that area of the world that we know, again, is the focal point at the end of the age, a focal point of prophecy. And we need to all be praying with all of our heart and all of our strength, God's kingdom come. And we need to be praying for that kingdom to be established on this earth, because that's what this world needs. It's what all of us need. And so we need to be praying for it with all of our hearts. Well, that's all I really have for this. I'm a little bit tired here tonight, and I'm looking forward to getting a really good night's rest tonight, and looking forward to a wonderful Sabbath again in Chicago, God willing. And we're praying for all of you. I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic Sabbath wherever you are. And we'll see you all real soon. Take care.